and it's number 4 Notre Dame, and it's number 1 Alabama. But this one is Alabama minus 19.5. Who you got there?
Well, if you were with us yesterday, you heard Brian Kelly on this show. I like Brian very much, and I would love to see Notre Dame make this a game. I don't see practically any way that the Irish win. I think Alabama is just head and shoulders better than they are. To me, the only so who's going to win the game? Clearly, Alabama's going to win the game. The question becomes, do they cover that very lofty number? And with my heart, Bubba, more than my head, I'm going to say no, they don't. With my heart, I'm going to say that the Irish make this an interesting game and do not get blown out. Now, I was at the game the last time these two played each other. It was in Miami. It was in the BCS championship game. And Alabama, it was about as one-sided as a game could be immediately. I really hope it doesn't look like that this time around. And it may not, only because I think that Alabama team was more physically dominating, whereas this one has a chance to put 70 points on you. Hopefully the Irish can put some points on the board and make that an interesting track meet. So, Bubba, with my heart, not my head, the official Greeny prediction is that Alabama wins, but does not cover the lofty number. I will make the final score Alabama 44, Notre Dame 30. That's my prediction. Bubba, what's next?
All right, the second game is the Sugar Bowl, and it's also on ESPN, also on ESPN Radio. Number 3, Ohio State. Number 2, Clemson. This one is Clemson minus 7.5. Who you got?
See, that feels like a good number. If you know me, you know that I went to school in the Big Ten, and I went to school in the Big Ten at a time that the teams I rooted for, meaning my Northwestern teams, in both football and men's basketball, were so bad that it wasn't ever a question of whether we were going to play in significant games. So I always, as a default, have rooted for the Big Ten, even as Northwestern has become good in both of those sports. I root, in the absence of anything else, I root for the Big Ten just because I root for the conference. So I'm rooting for Ohio State. But I will say, I have been less impressed by Ohio State than I have been by Clemson. And the reality is, in games in which Trevor Lawrence has played, no one has played Clemson remotely close. They obliterated Notre Dame. They've obliterated everyone in their path, save for 2 games this year, and they were the 2 that Trevor Lawrence didn't play. So I do not see Ohio State beating them, and I do not see Ohio State covering that number. The official Green Stradamus pick on this day will be Clemson 41, Ohio State 20. That is the official Greeny pick for the Sugar Bowl. Bubba, what else do we have?
All right, we'll stay in the Big Ten, and Ohio State has had no problems with this fella, Jim Harbaugh. Will he have a new deal, and will he stay at Michigan?
Well, those, to me, Bubba, feel like 2 different questions. The second one is easier to answer than the first. The first one is the complicated one. Will he stay? The answer is yes. Jim Harbaugh will be the head football coach at Michigan going forward. The question is, will they work out something long-term with him? And my prediction is the answer is yes. I just don't think you can go into a college football season with a lame duck coach, not anywhere, much less Michigan. I'm going to say yes. Jim Harbaugh remains in Ann Arbor and has something added to his contract to make it feel less impossible for them to compete going forward. Greeny with you, presented by Progressive Insurance. My guests on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. We are taking a look into the future, a glimpse at what will happen over the next 10 days while we are spending a little time on vacation. Bubba, give me one more good one.
All right, let's talk quarterbacks. How about Justin Fields or Zach Wilson? Who will be the second quarterback picked in the upcoming NFL draft?
See, so now this is interesting to me because I'm coming back January 4th.
Well, we got to get an answer now.
Well, the NFL draft is April 20-something, right? This is not going to be decided, Bubba, by January 4th.
Well,
Here's what
true Green Stradamus is going to decide it right now.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. No ifs, ands, buts, or questions of any kind. Justin Fields will be the second quarterback taken in the NFL draft this year and will be a top 5, if not top 3. I'm willing to go so far as to say top 5 lock, because he is a guy that NFL teams are going to fall in love with. He has had a less than spectacular season. Northwestern's defense gave him a very tough time on Saturday. He had a little bit of a thumb, and I think Clemson's going to give him a hard time. And so all the narrative is going to be about his stock dropping. And you're going to hear names like Zach Wilson and Trey Lance and Mac Davis and others like that. What did I say? Mac Davis? What is the kid's name I'm thinking of?
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones. Sorry. What am I saying?
Matt, you're saying Mac Davis? I don't know.
Right. What am I trying to say? The quarterback of Alabama is what I'm trying to say, for crying out loud.
Jones,
Mac
right?
Jones. All those names are going to start creeping into the conversation. And then the process of evaluation is going to begin. And they're going to get a good look at how big, strong, fast, and talented Justin Fields is, and every team in the NFL is going to fall in love with him. And when it is all said and done, he will be a runaway choice to be the second quarterback taken in this year's draft.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.